Yay!
Windows 9 previews here.
G'day, my name's Dimitri, and this is Mark, and we'd like to say thank you for joining us. We're just going to go through Windows 9 or Windows 10 preview. So we're pretty happy that there's something in sight to get us away from Windows 8, and so we're just going to run through some of the changes and have a little discussion on what we think of it.
Yes, and we downloaded this morning. Quite excited to see it. A lot of people sort of felt a little bit off with Windows 8, so we're hoping for a grand Windows 9, and we've got Windows 10.
Yes. So we're hoping it's going to fix some of the problems that people have not been happy with. So let's just go down and have a quick look. So this is actually our first look at it as well as yours. So we have a start button. So the start button was one of the biggest lacking features of Windows 8. And again, they have failed to put a My Computer icon anywhere in sight. So always just right click, personalize, change desktop icons, and you can get your icons back. So I really have no idea why they don't put those on the desktop, but that's how you put them back. So the start button, let's talk about the start button, let's have a look. So the start button has these little things that you can drag around the place, and I'm guessing you must be able to drag stuff into it. How do you get stuff into it? Personalize. Oh, you can change colors. Like I said, this is the first time we've used it. We've got news.
So that start menu looks a little bit like a Windows Phone.
Yes. So one of the features of Windows 10 is that they're making it the same system for all Windows systems, tablets, phones. What else? Xbox. That's a pretty cool feature. So that's something that would unify the experience to help people get familiar with it. So I think that's probably a good thing.
I think so. One of the things that Microsoft have mentioned in the past is that they are trying to direct themselves towards a single operating system, so that the phones, the tablets, laptops, desktops, everything has the one OS. We're not there, of course, but that is the direction of Microsoft, and it does look like a phone when you click on the start menu.
Yeah, it does.
Or an Xbox.
But the question is we don't want to put this stuff here. How do we, so we can resize. So I like this resizing and dragging stuff around. So that's that there is definitely quite nice. So maybe we need to unpin from start. Right, so we want to right click, pin to start. There it is. So basically we right click on an icon and pin it to start. So that there is definitely a good feature to help customize it. So we can, so let's put paint in there, pin to start. All right, so there we go. So basically I'm learning just as we're doing this. So so basically this here is very customizable, and I think we can make it bigger. Pin to start, there it is. So you can keep adding stuff to it, and there you go. So I think that is a nice addition to Windows 10, and it was the one thing that was really missing out of Windows 8. So positive.
I saw an image of this or similar type of start screen going back for many months, and when I saw it, I thought, "Oh, that looks perfect." It was only a graphic. I didn't see it in action, but one thing I find is people don't like to be have the screen disappear while you go to the start menu. They want to select another program while their desktop is still there. Just like what Windows 7 does, you click on start, you can see your applications. Now we can still do this with Windows, I was going to say 9, 10. 8 it upset people. You press the start button, and then the screen will disappear. And they go, "What's happened? Where's it gone?" They'll fix this. This is good. I like it.
So the start menu is definitely moving in the right direction, but just a slight oversight for, I have no idea why, is control panel, my computer. Two simple things that are central to a Windows computer to A, find your files and your hard drives and check them out, and B, to get to your settings of the computer.
But you know you can right click on here though.
Hang on, no, they've got a PC settings button over here,
Uh-huh.
and we've got an owner button over here. Yeah, that doesn't do anything. Oh, and we've got a shutdown button
Is on
all the
top.
way on the top there, so at least it's handy. PC settings. So instead of taking us to the control panel that we're familiar with, they're trying to take you to their new section. So you can search here, and we don't exactly have a keyboard connected to this computer, so I'm assuming if we were to type something like sound, it would take you to the control panel sound icon. And so they're trying to push you towards their new way of accessing settings, which will be universal over multiple devices, so that there's fine. So it's, while Windows 8 was that necessary stepping stone for what Microsoft want us to go down their direction, then that's okay. But where's the desktop button there? But the control panel is still there, so the old control panel that we're used to is still there. So one of the first things always is to add the, my computer icon has changed. So yeah, it's still very much Windows 8. And multitasking. Let's see, what can we fire up? Calculator. Notepad. So there is meant to be some form of multitasking, which probably is controlled by the keyboard. Do you know how multitasking? So that was one of the features of Windows 10 was multitasking.
We need to have a look at that, because one thing I use all the time on Windows 8, Windows 7 is the snap to the bezel. You do that?
Sorry, I don't use Windows 8.
What do you use?
Windows 7.
I use Windows 8. But Windows 7 does it as well.
Well, I don't use that feature.
Okay, so what I love about Windows 7 or 8 is when I can snap any window.
There it is. That's that task multitasking thing. So
Hang on, I'll grab it.
Windows 10
No, grab
is something that Microsoft will want to push to corporate customers. So one of the good things for us, just the everyday user, is that they're trying to capture the corporate market, because Windows 8 wasn't going to be a big seller for the corporate market. So they're hoping Windows 9 will be that, and that's a typical cycle that Microsoft will have. So they need to make a stable system, easy to use. They need to make it easy for people to migrate from Windows XP, Windows 7 to Windows 9, unless there's people still on Vista or they're using Windows 8.
What's wrong with Windows 8?
Yeah. But anyway, so the point is they need to make something that's good to capture the corporate market, which is something they rely on quite heavily.
I do notice a lot of businesses not moving away from Windows 7 to Windows 8. It seems to be quite popular with people who walk into the shop and that's why I buy a new laptop, comes with Windows 8. But in corporate, we seem to be hanging back, sitting on Windows 7, waiting for Windows 10. So I think, yes, you're right. This is going to be big for business. It's going to take time. It's usually easily 6 months to a year before larger businesses start to adopt this platform.
Right. Can you go back to the multitasking thing?
I haven't quite worked that out.
We'll worry about that later. But that's one of the
If I snap
features.
over here, it then comes up with this, and then I click.
So
somehow.
Windows 7, Windows 8, memory management is quite good. Maybe it's not good as Apple software, but it's definitely better than what it has been in the past. So that's the multitasking thing is something that Windows will do quite well, and that's one of their features that they're touting. Other than that, there's not much to it really. It's basically like a Windows 8.6.
5, because then there'll be an update and there'll be
Yeah.
6.
So let's just quickly throw out some of the issues that we're hoping has been fixed. One word issues. Yeah,
Start menu.
fixed.
Control panel. Because I don't like the control panel being broken away from the PC settings. You know how you can go, there's some PC
It's
settings.
the same.
Well, it's not really. You use Windows 7.
Oh, yeah, right.
Windows 8, you seem to have the control panel. You go, oh, great, but then there's other settings that aren't really connected to the control panel.
Yeah, he's correct. He's correct. Yeah, you click on something in control panel, it takes you to PC settings. So that's something that they need to work towards. All right, one word problems we're talking about. Licensing.
And another problem is where, say...
One word problems.
Oh, one word. Activation.
Comes back to licensing, product keys. Reinstallation. All right, so let's just go over some of those problems that we might come across. Is A, licensing. There is no physical number license. And some computers, there's no problems for us, but other computers, it's very, very difficult because Windows has a certain way that you can reinstall Windows. And it actually is quite good that you can do a repair or a reinstallation of Windows. And it actually works quite well. But there are occasions it does not work at all. And so I've got a laptop that works fine. It has a problem in software, which is very, very common in Windows 8. We're coming across just problems. And the only way to fix it is just to reinstall it. There's no point even bothering to waste time to try and fix it. You're better off just to reinstall. And we've come across lots of number of different issues of reinstallation with Windows 8. Licensing and activation is it.
Basically, there's that, what do you call it, the boot.
The UEFI.
That's on the gear that you sell from the shop. It's fine. Like you can turn it off, you can work it. But some of the proprietary brand machines, HP comes to mind. It can be a bit of a drama trying to get just right to do a install for my standard Windows 8 media.
Yeah, so desktops it's not so bad, but when you start coming across laptops, sometimes we're forced to use whatever media is available to us to reinstall, and that means we have to dig into the BIOS, into the motherboard of the computer to find the license code, and we're finding that methods available to us that work on a percentage of computers don't work on another percentage of computers. The biggest brand and product range we have problems with is ASUS laptops. Failed hard drive, common fault, happens all the time. We can't reinstall Windows with a genuine license. We're forced to use kind of dodgy stuff. It's the only way for us to do a reinstall on these laptops is to not use the genuine Windows that comes with the laptop. We have to do something different. It's the only way.
And also, like if it was my laptop, I would want to install it off the genuine media anyway, so I wouldn't get all the ASUS or HP or Toshiba extra stuff that I don't want. I want it nice and clean. But you are right. Like I reckon what it should be is that I don't mind having the key stored in the laptop BIOS. If there's some sort of standard for it, you do.
We need license codes. We need OEM license codes. And this comes back to another issue of Microsoft. Pricing of operating systems. It's ridiculous that certain customers are charged between $20 and $30 for a license key. Okay, at Microsoft, you know that is the case. Yet we are charged it's even more than that. We're charged like 5 and 6 times the price for the same product, or almost the same product that you're charging OEM, like corporate customers. So the pricing of the software seems to be out of date. Back in the days when a computer was $5,000, the operating systems, there needs to be a different pricing structure, or something needs to change. And we need to have a simpler method of reinstallation. A common disk that can be used with license keys that are supplied with operating systems. I understand your Microsoft's need to try and combat privacy, but when you buy a computer with Windows, you should be able to reinstall it without jumping through hoops and dramas and problems. Sorry, it's just my little
Whinge.
Yeah.
One thing I think that they should do is you should be able to have a home version of Windows and then pay extra and upgrade it to professional. Not have the ability to go backwards, but have the ability to move forwards. Have the same same machine, and just go, this is a home machine, I need it to be professional, I'll pay X amount of dollars, run some sort of upgrade to it.
They've already got this.
Where?
Yeah, they got upgrades. They have it in Windows 7. It's expensive though.
Yeah, but it's not clean, is it? It reinstalls the whole
I
OS
think I
again.
only ever had 2 people in the history buy those upgrade things, anytime upgrades or something. But what's the point though?
Point of what?
Home user wanting to upgrade to professional?
Well, for example, I've got one client who's got Windows 7 home machine, and he runs MYOB, and he uses it as a little, like a mini MYOB server. He needs to have professional for that.
Then he screwed up by not getting professional at the start.
Okay. Then you have clients who you'll implement a new server into for business. The business is growing. You put the server in, and to connect to that domain, you need to have professional. So they have the existing machines, or the machines at home, and then all of a sudden you have to say, we're going to have to reinstall all your computers because they have home edition and need to be on professional to connect to the domain.
I'm guessing they'll have something like that in Windows. So the question is licensing, reinstallation, pricing are some of the key issues that we see. And what are they going to do for Windows 8 customers? There's been rumours of cheap upgrades.
Have you heard that?
Yeah, I heard that.
I heard something about Windows 8 customers may have a free version of Windows 10, but I don't know if that's true. When I heard it was actually Windows 9.
Oh, imagine upgrading.
Windows
Yeah.
9.
So these are just some common issues that we see coming up. It'd be nice if Windows 9 does it have a backup? 10. Let's just have a quick look. So, sorry, we haven't really shown you much of Windows 9 because in my eyes there's not much to
10.
Windows 10. There's not much to show really. It's just Windows 8 with a beautiful looking start menu. Windows accessories, no backup. That's another issue that we would touch on is security and virus type activity and things like that.
I think security is majorly big.
There's a lack of knowledge and awareness on what people should really be doing. I found control panel under Windows system, a command prompt. Let's have a look at that. Oh, command prompt. All apps. No. Windows system. Oh look, there's my computer. We found my computer icon.
I
under
always put
Windows
my
system.
computer. Sorry. always put my computer on the desktop.
Ooh, pin to start. Hang on. Oh look, we've got the My Computer icon back. Yay! Windows Defender's somewhere locked in there. We've got the Run menu.
See how they started to promote the Windows PowerShell more?
Yeah. What does it do?
Haven't you used it?
No, I never used it. What's it for?
What's the idea was that it's a bit like a command prompt. It's sort of, I guess, comes from Linux world where you could issue virtually any command to the PC via the terminal and change the settings to whatever you want, or kick off applications. It's the command prompt was more or less about having DOS, some sort of version of DOS to look after some of the legendary applications, or for users who are used to that environment. PowerShell takes it to the next level where you can configure the machine virtually any way you want to. You can connect to other computers on the network using the PowerShell interface. You never used it. Okay, I'd use it occasionally, not a lot.
So there's a picture of what the device manager looked like after a fresh install. So
Did you install any drivers on that?
So this is what the device manager looked like from the installation from the disk. So remember, this is a preview, so this isn't any indication of what the real thing's going to be like. But I kind of would have expected it to have a Intel network drivers, up-to-date ones, and some other stuff anyway. But so I'm guessing it will have more drivers when it comes out, but it didn't. It was lacking a number of drivers, so I have installed drivers.
There's something I thought of too.
Yep.
Updates. Your
Oh,
favourite. Your favourite. You love updates.
So Windows 8 has, we call it update. It will just keep say unkind, and we just have issues on trying to update Windows. So I'm really hoping that they can go back to a simple service pack where you can download a large file that can be used on any number of Windows-based systems to update them. I understand these updates and things like that, but the update process for Windows 8 was stupid. Really. You got to go to the store to update to 8.1, and you can't go there until you've updated. You got to update. You got to go to the store to update, and then you have to update, and you probably have to update again.
Windows 7 was a little bit rough as well, but I do agree. I think there should be more service packs. I would like to see a maybe a quarterly service pack of some sort, or what did they call it years ago? A rollout. Remember back in Windows 95 or XP, I think it was.
Now he's showing his age. Anyway, updates is a really major problem for Windows 8, and the updating process needs to be just modified a little bit, and you should be made aware on when your computer's going to download data, because people are connecting devices using mobile broadband, and they may have limits on their downloads, and updates can really blow them out. So
now you have seen on Windows 8 that it will detect whether you're on a broadband connection or a mobile connection. Typically,
no, does it do that?
It does. It has this. I don't know how reliable it is. When you sort of leave decisions up to the computer to work out what you're doing, it sort of becomes a bit scary. But similar to what the phones do, like the Windows phones won't update if you're on the mobile data connection. It senses that you're on Wi-Fi and it goes, great, I'll grab that. Windows 8 does something similar where it can detect that, say you're on a Windows 8 laptop, it'll detect that you're connected to a data service, like a mobile data service, and then it will not download its updates.
Like a hotspot cordless 4G phone that is faster than broadband.
You notice that?
We have some really crappy stuff here in Australia. We have 3G and 4G internet, which is very, very fast, but it can be very, very expensive. And depending on how you're connected might depend on how a Windows 10 computer might detect it. But that's another issue. That comes back to the updates on being difficult for Windows 8. So I really believe that they need to do something about it. So updates, security is a big question mark. Also, forcing people to use Microsoft accounts to log into their desktop computers. Microsoft kind of tricks you into creating a Microsoft account to log in and set up your computer. So that's a small issue that I believe needs to be. How are we going to fix that? They're just going to do it anyway.
But what happens with the Mac and Android? Like Android, you got to log into Google, and the Macs, you got to log into iCloud. You got to have Apple ID to really use Mac, don't you?
No, you can log into a local account on Mac.
You can log in the local account on Windows 8.
Tell me, how many people have you seen been able to find how to set up a local account on Windows 8?
I can tell you.
How many?
How many people who do it, or how many people do know?
How many people do know?
I know.
Yeah, I know too. But I had to Google how to do it when I first come across. You have to create a new account and then click on the little button down below. So I think it's Microsoft's very misleading on setting up a system, Windows 8, and it's just a small little thing, but they should maybe go about looking at trying to find a way to set up a security system where the account is not an administrator account and it's a limited access account, and we should really be forced to have some type of forced password administrator master account that we don't log into and use to help prevent viruses from going into the computer.
Yeah, because Mac does that.
Yep.
Linux does that because you have the super user account, then you have your user accounts. Windows, you can do it, but it's not automatic. You fire up Windows for the first time and it says, what name do you want? You type your name in and that's the administrator account. Then if you so choose, or you do, and I know, you can create a restricted account and use that instead.
Yeah, so basically admin, there should be an admin account, which is like a super user master account that you need to create a password for, and then you have to use like a limited account. But that's just something that would help in the security process. Also, people need to learn not to click on shit on the internet.
I have a saying: if the internet asks a question, say no. No. Is your computer slow? Do you want to speed it up? No. Do you want to install this new version of Flash Player? No. No.
No.
No.
Do you want to update your computer? No. Do you want to update anything on your computer? No. Do you want anything that updates your computer running on your computer? No. Do you want to turn automatic updating on? I don't turn it on, but you can turn it on.
My new one is I turn it on for Adobe Flash and Adobe Reader.
I leave it on for Adobe Flash, but then I'll use Google Chrome for browsing, so I don't need Flash. You got to turn everything that updates off if you can. Everything. You don't want NVIDIA updating. You don't want Adobe updating. You don't want Skype updating. You cannot stop Google from updating. Google has the most. You can't stop Google from updating itself, so don't even bother trying to stop it. Skype, iTunes. There's just so much stuff on your computer that wants to update. HP updates, Epson updates.
I agree with. I do sort of agree with the updates. Like you got to have updates. What I don't agree on is when you're working away in the system and all of a sudden it comes up and says, "Updating, need to reboot," and you're halfway into something and you notice the machine's running slow, and then all of a sudden, need to reboot. That's just annoying. I think. One thing they were doing with the Xbox was the idea was that at the middle of the night, the Xbox would turn on, download its updates, reboot, and shut back down again.
That sounds good.
Or maybe Windows
All right, let's
9
wrap it
Plus
up.
has that.
So Windows 10 is out. The
Preview.
a preview. The long-awaited start button has returned, and it seems to work quite well. Only time will tell on if it is a little bit better than Windows 8 in its resistance to problems, and if it does get problems, fixing them. So Windows 7 was actually quite good, and there was lots of things that you could do to fix Windows 7. Windows 8, there's probably lots of things you can do, but I just couldn't be bothered doing them.
But I suppose like if Windows 10 is missing some of these features, they'll just bring out a patch and update it.
And screw something else up. All right. Thank you for watching, and hopefully we'll learn more, bring some more stuff out, and